everybody.
Howdy.
So welcome back to the ReBoot review, now on episode 5.
Woohoo!
Wee, nice. And today we're going to be watching the TIFF. So I was always very fond of this episode because I've mentioned in previous episodes of the ReBoot review that my favorite character, I'm Robin, by the way. We keep forgetting that part.
I'm not Robin.
Yes. And I'm not Katie, by the way.
There, you figured it out, didn't you, audience?
Yeah, no restarting for us. Once we've hit the start button, that's it. We're here, and you're stuck. But anyway, yeah, so the TIFF was always one of my favorite episodes because, as I mentioned before, Dot was, or is, one of my favorite characters in the show. She is my favorite character in the show. I don't have to hedge that. And I have always been very drawn to the Dot and Bob relationship. Like, from the very beginning of watching the show, I was kind of rooting for them, even 12-year-old me. And this episode always kind of reminds me of that because it is all about Bob and Dot's relationship. So I got to thinking about relationships in ReBoot because in the fandom, there was a bunch of different ways that you could sort of be a shipper. And there were a lot of different pairings. So Katie, what was your favorite pairing?
Well, adolescent me grew quite fond of the Andrea Matrix pairing, which you don't get to see until much later.
But that is the one that appeals to a lot of people.
Yes. And I'll be honest, when I was younger, I was pretty indifferent toward the Bob-Dot relationship.
Yeah.
Because I was indifferent toward Dot, because she seemed kind of like a mom to me.
Yeah, she was a little bit
She was less cool than Bob, and she kind of always seemed like a wet blanket. Like, that was kind of what they made her out to be in certain aspects. So.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that there are two different relationships, two different motivations.
Yeah, and I always, as a Dot fan, there are some episodes that play up the Dot as wet blanket more than other episodes do. Yeah. And those episodes actually got on my nerves because I felt like there was so much, like, I liked that Dot was kind of uptight. Again, I related to that.
Well, we all need a Dot in our lives.
It's true, yeah. But then when they kind of took it so far as to be like, ugh, isn't it annoying that Dot is so uptight and Bob's so much cooler than her? I was like, no, Bob and Dot are actually a really good match for each other.
Yeah, and bringing it back to the episode, this is the episode that really does show that Bob is, or not Bob, Dot, their names are very similar.
They are. But actually, in the last episode, I call Bob Dot at one point.
I didn't notice.
3, I do that, yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, is she's actually very cool and she's very capable, and it's nice because they show that you don't have to be one-dimensional in this show.
And like a perfect, cool, strong female character in all the boring ways. Yeah, exactly. Capitalized strong female character. But I actually feel like as an adult, I kind of appreciate more things about the Andrea Matrix relationship now.
And while I, as an adult, can appreciate the stable warmth of the Bob and Dot relationship.
Well, what sort of I appreciate now about Andrea and Matrix, and I had another friend who really likes Andrea and Matrix put it to me this way, was that, like, I don't know, initially I was just like, well, there's no tension in that relationship. Like, with Bob and Dot, you got the feeling they were really complimentary, but there was always this kind of push and pull going on there, which kept it interesting. And Andrea and Matrix, to teenage me, didn't have any of that, so I never really saw the appeal. But a friend of mine was like, well, but they're so, like, for that friend, it was like they were the solid relationship. Because they'd been with each other for so long, and I was just reading this art book that Katie gave me that sort of makes an offhand reference to, like, they were the reason that one another survived. And it's like, yeah, I guess if your bond is rooted in the fact that you grew up and literally survived together.
Yeah, exactly.
There doesn't have to be tension. It's just solid and secure, and you're always there for each other.
Yeah, it's actually, we're totally fast forwarding, but I remember there are these moments in the very, very early episodes of season 3 when you realize that they're okay, but all grown up, and there's an easy relationship between the two of them that they show when they're away from other people. And so it's true, like, there is something really, really deeply connected between the two of them. And of course, I was such a romantic when I was young. I was like, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. I love it so much. I can only hope I'll have that someday.
Yeah. It was like, they could relax around each other, and they did relax one another.
I'm sure they tooted right in front of each other all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
I wonder if Bob and Dot toot in front of each other.
That's a really good question.
I'm sure they don't.
It probably took Dot a while to get used to it.
Do sprites
true,
too?
they're still
I
gonna
mean,
use-
actually, this is
Okay,
a
we
huge
just
line of
went way too
questioning.
deep down this hole. And oh my god, and we're like, we're a good couple of minutes into the intro. So you know what? Let's start watching the TIFF and really exploring Bob and Dot's relationship
And see if there are any toot opportunities.
Okay, Katie, I'm relying on you to flag these.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'm not going to do sound effects.
Thank you. Okay.
Or will I?
So episode 5, the TIFF, is starting now.
I come from the net.
I guess we never did come up with
Systems,
something to say or do
people,
over the
and
credits.
city
Oh, that's
to this
right.
place.
Yeah.
We'll,
Mainframe.
we'll just keep
My
brainstorming.
format,
We'll keep
go
working
Yeah,
away at it.
To
yeah,
mend
yeah.
and
We'll
defend.
just brainstorm
To defend
during the
my
credits
newfound
time.
friends.
And by the time we
Their
finish
hopes
season 1,
and
we'll have an
dreams.
idea.
Okay, so what's your
Defend
idea
them
for
from
today?
For
their
today?
enemies.
What should we do?
Oh, geez.
We could review cheeses.
We could review cheeses as per the computer cheese in there.
Yep.
We could review.
we could do makeup, like tutorials on how to look like the characters, but
Yeah, that's
not
a good
actually
idea.
provide pictures of what we look like.
Yeah. You don't
Only
need to do that.
description.
Yeah, very, very vivid descriptions.
Make yourself look like Dot.
They say the
Put some
user lives
green
outside
on
the
yourself.
net and
Yeah.
inputs games for
It doesn't
pleasure.
matter what green or where.
No one
No,
knows
yes,
for sure.
exactly.
Place green somewhere
But I
on your
intend
person.
to find out.
Yeah.
And-
to have greenish hair.
Yeah, that's important.
Done. Oh, the show's starting.
Okay. Brainstorming done.
Wait at the bar. Wait
See
at
you
the
again
bar.
next time.
Wait at the bar.
Okay, who else? The Mitchell account?
Late as usual.
the Mitchell
Mitchell accounts, yeah. And I love that you eventually get to meet Mr. Mitchell.
Yes,
Like,
that's
that
huge.
becomes relevant, the constant references to the Mitchell account. When it was really just like a one-off joke about, like, the producer.
Where
Yes,
are
Mitchell.
those two? When I get my hands on them, I'll... Ah, there they are.
Cool glasses.
I always like Dot with her glasses.
Yeah.
My season 3 toy has the glasses, and you can, like, take them off her. And what's really cool is the toy looks good both with and without the glasses.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. At least I'm pretty sure it does. I might be confusing it with another toy that also has round glasses, but
Hey, Dot,
I think my
what's
season
process?
3 Dot. came
Yeah,
with them.
you okay?
Where have you two been?
We just stopped off to do a little circuit racing on our way back from school.
Circuit
Is that popcorn?
racing?
I mean, what are they
That
eating?
wasn't on the
Yeah,
schedule.
I'm sure it's some
come
sort
on,
of
Dot.
computer-based pun on popcorn.
I know, things that we'll never get because we just aren't computer
Okay, I appreciate. I've never
Doesn't
listened to this in
hurt.
headphones before, and they actually have it mixed so that Dot is in your right ear and Bob is in your left ear.
Oh,
Are you hearing
we're
that?
so late that my entire
Yes!
schedule is off.
Amazing!
Fortunately, you're probably not going to get that
Well,
on
you
the
probably
YouTube
know
show
you're gonna be
because
at
when I put this
10,030.
all together
That
in the
would be the
editor,
input-output
it flattens
coefficient
everything
sector.
out. So I don't know if you're going to get that stereo
Sorry,
effect. But
audience.
if you have
it was really cool.
if you have the
I'd love
DVDs,
to,
listen to it with
but
your
right
headphones
now,
in because
Enzo
that's
and I
actually a
are
really
late.
cute effect for that fight.
Ancient languages? Mega boring. Kobold, Fortran, they're dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, I know
Well,
he's
they
just
may be
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs, Enzo.
I was
but
always
you never
weirdly
know when
curious
they might
about,
come
like,
in
Enzo
handy.
going to
It's
school.
always better to be prepared.
Yes.
So they alluded to it as in like, well, if
need
there's
to
a
be
kid in
more
the
like
show, you
me,
can't have him not
taking
going to
things
school.
as
That's
they come.
irresponsible.
That's
Learning to do
right.
things on
And
the
I guess you do,
fly,
like, his
living
teacher
on the
calls
edge.
home at some point, I'm pretty sure.
Problem?
Oh, yes.
Are you saying I have a problem?
Yeah, I guess I am. All those plans
Close
and
up.
schedules.
It is awfully
They're not
confrontational.
good for a little kid.
But I guess they, like,
What are you
started
trying to
off
do, huh?
on,
Turn
like,
poor Enzo
the
into
wrong
you?
foot today
Totally
already, so...
pre-programmed?
Yeah, I think maybe they're just both. Look at that. He looked really
At least
angry
he
there.
won't be as inconsiderate and random as some people.
Random?
Guys!
Yeah, as much as they're, like, the
No, it's
reasonable
okay,
adults of
Enzo.
this
If your
show,
big sister
they do,
feels she
like,
knows it
get
all,
pretty huffy
far
about
be
little
it for
things.
me to get in her
Yeah,
way.
which I mean, maybe like so
Now
they've
you're talking.
surpassed like even
Well,
the
Doc,
early
then why
stages
don't
of
you put
relationships, and they're
this on your
straight into
schedule?
old married couple.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
kiss
true.
a
You know
nut
what?
before I
That was the
step
thing I
into
wanted to
this
mention
place
about
again.
this. At one point when I
Fine
was,
by me.
when I was working for a broadcaster,
You didn't really mean
and
it, did you,
they,
Doc?
we got at one point,
Bob? Bob
hold of
who?
a Bible for the series, and I wish I had like emailed it back to myself. Like I wish I had sent it to myself to still have it, but instead I just like read it. So it was the original Bible, which we got as
Whoa,
part of
Enzo,
like
does
the
your sister
package
know
of
you're calling
like
me? Is it
materials
on
that
her
you would get when you're
schedule?
airing a show. And
I miss you, Bob.
it says in the original
but you won't
Bible,
admit it.
in Bob's character description,
Take me chicken
that
while you're
like
circuit racing. racing.
maybe someday
wish I could,
he'll
Enzo.
like settle down
But you
with
heard
Dot and
that?
compile a
Spending a
family. Like the
nanosecond with
Bible
me
treated it
throw your
almost like they
entire
were
life out of
basically,
whack.
it's taken for granted they're already in a relationship.
Coming back to the
Yes.
And like
Sorry,
clearly
but I
they're
don't
not
need Dot
really
or the diner.
in the
Nope,
show.
not
Yeah.
me.
But
I've got so much going on
it was
that I don't know
obviously
where
built
I'm
in from
gonna
the
find
beginning.
time to get it
Yeah.
all done.
is the interesting part.
And you always get that sense. Like, I mean, even when I was a kid, like, I always figured that's what was supposed to happen with the two of them. But
Yeah.
they both had their own things going on, so.
It was obviously building towards that. So I know when I was a kid, it just felt like it was organic to me. Like the
Yeah.
chemistry between the characters was good enough that I sort of I saw it as just evolving naturally out of the show.
Yeah.
And what they had built. And so when I saw that it was there right from the start, I was like, I probably should have known this.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, Mike.
There he is.
Yeah.
Mike.
Having trouble getting things done? Let's get organized!
There's a cat in mainframe?
It's just like a scuzzy type.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what cats look like in mainframe.
For the last time, Enzo,
So Mike the TV
no,
apparently-
I am not calling him.
His design originally had only one eye.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out why ABC kept like poo-pooing the design and not being happy with it until they realized that the single eye was maybe a little bit
mind
too
taking
reminiscent
care of
of
you
the CBS
now?
logo.
And they couldn't figure out at all why.
Yeah, they was like
Such
ABC
thing.
wouldn't say this. It was
Yeah.
never explicitly stated, but they always seemed really unhappy with Mike's design, and so they figured
pieced it
that was
together.
the reason why,
Yeah.
and that's why Mike actually has two eyes. One-eyed Mike would be kind of creepy, I think, actually.
I like the two eyes, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Mind you,
I think I
binomes,
can
the
take
one
care of
binomes have
myself,
one eye, and they're
thank
so
you.
cute.
And they're a little. No, that's a little creepy. I can take care of things myself.
Yep.
No, I can't.
Good thing someone got the door.
Oh, Cecil.
Aw.
And you thought
It was
I
a good
couldn't
effort,
handle
though.
things without what's his file name.
That's a good joke.
They've both gone totally random. I better do something before someone gets hurt.
You know, it's funny, like, you're talking about how they seem really irrationally angry with each other. But, you know, being a mom, sometimes you get mad over those parenting decisions, you know, when you disagree on.
Dot won't talk
Like
Bob.
something that maybe
Bob
seems
won't talk
small.
to Dot.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, no, this is
Sometimes
the
it
hill
can
that
get
I
really
choose to die on.
frustrating.
Yeah.
So maybe they just, you know, they're just really sticking to their ideologies.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, it could be that it's that one thing that you're just fed up with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
has gotten on your nerves so long.
And Enzo's up all night long, and they really, they're just not getting enough sleep.
Yep. It's clearly
He's
what's
a very
happening.
needy
Yeah,
child.
yeah. They really are co-parents to him, aren't they?
Said
Yeah.
that broken friendship is best mended by tragedy or apology.
We have to kill Enzo.
Alphanumeric. Deep. What do you mean exactly, Fong?
Well, Enzo.
But you must ponder my words.
Tragedy or apology? Dude!
Well, I don't
There's
know what
another
apology
sprite again.
means. What? Which one?
Like the purple.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
There are other sprites around. They stick around for more than a few episodes.
You gotta help me!
We'll have to decide which episodes did they decided to just evacuate.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll be able to
It's
notice
He's
around all of our
captured me.
talking.
He's holding me hostage at Old Man Peter's dad's house. Hurry, Bob! If he finds out that...
You fools! He's gotten to the vid window! Seize him!
Bob!
I do remember, like, even 11 or 12-year-old me
I'm coming.
being a little like the idea of Bob falling for that.
That was stunning!
Yeah.
Like, I know it's played up as fake for our sakes as the young viewers, but
Yeah.
that was definitely pushing my suspension of disbelief a little bit.
Well, maybe Bob's just trying to humor Enzo.
Yeah,
he
that
knows.
could be. Yeah.
Do you think he's coming?
Well, they have
I
a
feel like
whole
that's actually
makeup
pretty
team.
reasonable. Yeah, you got a decent budget for this.
Someone get that dog off the set!
This is like
Megabyte back up!
indie film
Voices,
short
everyone,
budget.
It's time for
Yeah.
take two!
Help me,
Hey,
Doc!
that's the name of the actual
Old
episode.
Man Pearson's?
The
Hold on,
TIFF.
little brother. I'm on my way.
Meta.
So meta.
Nice and tight, boys. Perfect.
I like the music there.
Yeah.
Again,
The
their
classic
attention to detail. For the
give you all
jokes.
these little touches. And
Here they come.
Dot having camping gear for some reason. I do remember distinctly noticing, I think she's got a ladle on her backpack.
Better work.
Just in case.
Help!
You have to ladle Enzo out of something.
Help! Enzo? Bob, what are you doing here?
Me? I'm here to rescue Enzo. What
She's
about
got
you?
2 ladles.
Enzo called me.
What?
Why don't you just zip
How many?
along
Oh no,
now?
wait, it's a plunger. Never mind.
Control here.
Wait,
False
Really?
alarm.
I'm surprised you could find time in
Okay, she
that
wasn't
busy schedule of yours to
over-prepared.
save your
Alright.
own brother.
She's
Well,
like 2 ladles.
surprised
I'm not
you
an
were even
idiot.
available. I thought you'd be too busy, living on the edge and all.
Oh, brother. People! Guys!
Guess they really are gonna kill her.
Yeah.
Morning!
Well, that thing about tragedy is going to turn out to be really true.
That's right. I was right all along.
I didn't want to be right.
Okay, people! Anytime now! Help! Hello!
Oh, is that so, Mr. Supercomputer?
Yeah, it is, Miss Works
Yeah, you're
Too
right.
Much.
They're terrible parents.
It's about compromise, really, guys. Come on, Brisket.
Yeah. Brisket knows what's up.
Enzo could be making a lot more noise, though. I mean, really.
That's true. He's just kind of sitting there fairly. And like,
Enzo,
Brisket's
are
just
you
like,
okay?
what's going on here?
No
There we go.
thanks to you two.
Well, I would have been here sooner if your sister wasn't such a...
Me? If you weren't so basic, so low density.
Oh, it's always me now, isn't it? Well, you're the basic one. Don't call me basic. I think you're about as basic as it comes. I mean, when I look up basic in the dictionary, it's you that I see, Doc.
I like Bob trying really hard to come up with his insults.
Yes.
Also,
Ow!
BS&P.
It is said that broken friendship is best mended.
That's a pretty cool
by
thought bubble.
tragedy
That is actually. I
or
like that they would texture that like that.
Apology, eh? I think it's time for plan B.
Me, basic. Ha! Low density. Huh. Ow!
Hologram.
What? For me? Cool.
Like, is Bob rich?
Yeah.
You know?
To be able to, like...
Oh, no.
Who would be
Oh,
sending
no, wait, he
me
is
a-
rich because he doesn't care.
Yeah,
he keeps telling you. Yes, that's right.
Holomark. When you care enough to project the very best, send Holomark.
It's so hard to say I'm sorry.
Also,
It's even
this
harder to say
gives me
I was
questions
wrong.
about how easy
times like
it is to fake someone else's identity in a hologram.
Yes. Well, he probably just copy-pasted Dot.
Yeah,
and Bob.
true. If you can just, like, get the image of someone, they'll do the rest of the animation, like those elf yourself.
Yes, exactly.
At 1400.
Please, Dot. You first.
No, you.
Look, they're talking.
friendly even.
Finally. Thank you, Father.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Incoming game.
Uh-oh, a game. But I'm not worried, Bob. I'm with you, and you're the best.
Hey, you're no hack yourself, Doc. No game can stop a team like us.
Yeah, it's like you said in your card. There's nothing we can't do together.
Oh no.
Oh. Ding.
Yeah, I like that little realization sound. And the other great thing about this episode was, like, I honestly think this is one of the cooler games in the series.
Card?
I
Well,
always
you know,
remember
that
this
sweet
game.
holomark
Yeah.
you sent to apologize for being such a creep.
Me apologize to you? Why in the motherboard would I do something like that? ReBoot.
So it's like you've got fun,
Possibly
character-driven
because
drama,
you were acting like
relationship
a
at
dipswitch.
stake.
Freebie.
Yeah.
and then cool action
You were the one
concept
who said you
game
were
where
sorry.
they get to wear these like boss headset things and just generally be cool.
Yeah,
AF.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just all the makings of
Maybe we should get
fun,
ourselves out of the
excellent
game first.
episode
Back
action.
later.
Right, it's Starship Alcatraz. We need that access key.
It's funny, this particular user,
Set the ship for self-destruct.
what's the word, like his look
Nah,
is,
yes,
it always sticks with me. Is like,
We can use these
when I
to
think of
capture
the
the rascal.
user,
Come on.
I often think of that
You picture
face.
this guy.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think it's probably because this is the first time the user is not invisible. Well, I guess we had a knight,
But
you
had
couldn't see his
face,
face.
faceless knight. And
And so this established the idea of the polygonal user that we see up until season 3,
You gotta cool
when
it,
they
Game
were
Boy.
able to
With the
start
main
rendering the
power
user
down,
as
now
looking
all the
much more
prisoners
like a
are
real
loose.
character.
Yeah,
Users
exactly.
moving up the levels.
I bet this
Here,
is what
toward the
Lara
escape
Croft
pod.
actually
We should
looked
get the
like
main
the
power
very
back
first
on.
time they ever did.
Otherwise, we'll have
Kind of
prisoners
does
all
look like
over.
her. Look
Yeah,
at it.
especially like the braid.
Yeah.
Calm,
That sexy
thoughtful
sneer.
planning will win this game, not running around and jumping.
Also, those are cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, this is another thing where like the restriction that they couldn't use guns led to something that
Calm, thoughtful planning.
made for a
I wish
lot
we
more
had time.
interesting
Better get to that
action
user.
scenes.
Right,
Now.
the creativity of being constrained.
Yeah. It's really true that so often you work better with constraints, and then once those are lifted,
Yes.
and you think you can get away with anything, you just get kind of sloppy.
This way.
Yeah, exactly.
Or go down easy routes,
Actually,
right?
Bob, I think this
Well,
route is
it
quicker.
actually reminds me of either the book that we were reading or the article that we were reading talking about how they had to become so creative.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we even talked
were
about that in a previous episode.
Oh, I'm sure we did.
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
we spent the bulk of previous episodes. That's sort of the theme up to this point of the
It
show.
really is.
Yeah.
And amazing. Just look at what they can create
Yeah.
in how many weeks,
Yeah.
really, of production.
Absolutely.
Evil box.
This is gelatinous cube.
Yeah, that's right. Evil box.
Evil box, yeah. They're cousins.
Yeah.
Distantly related on the, taxonomical charts.
Dot, use your PCU now.
Oh, really? I was gonna try and reason with them.
I do like that as a Dot moment. Like,
Yes.
that's where it's like, okay, no, she is still pretty boss, despite
Yeah.
her, like...
This is for anyone, who was wondering if she was just some businesswoman who had no real skills. Like,
Yeah.
it
Oh, yeah, because business skills aren't real skills.
No, I mean, no real. I mean, okay. So I apologize. I mean, like,
Yeah.
fighting
I know what you meant.
skills.
Yeah. Skills that you would apply in a game.
Yeah. I mean, she'd be great at the, accounting.
Oh, like, I was thinking of SimCity.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, yeah, Dot would be a boss at SimCity.
She really would. Yeah. Roller
I mean, she
coaster
does eventually
tycoon.
become the mayor.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, roller coaster tycoon, she would do great on business management. Again, we're like the bubble gun. Like, if they'd been allowed to use regular blasters, you wouldn't be doing fun stuff like this.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
so much
true.
more interesting than just blasting things.
You're prettier than me.
The beautiful long hair. Yeah, what's interesting in this art book, as I just read it,
Power hammer.
was that one of the sort of original visual references for Dot, because they sort of envisioned her as being this kind of like sexy, funny character, or at least a character you could kind of laugh at and laugh at herself.
Yeah.
An
can't
original
believe
visual reference for
trapped in
her
a
was
stupid
Lucille
bubble.
Ball,
Yeah.
which really shocked me because I don't think that came through in the final series. Like that kind of comical aspect to her.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Well, I do find those original images just so interesting because she always,
give me
to
your
me, as a
location. I'll be
kid,
right
came
there.
across as very,
No, the user's
like,
moving too
rigid.
fast.
Yeah,
Get that
like,
main
not
power back on.
dowdy,
I need
but,
to
like,
slow
kind
him
of,
down.
like,
old. Like,
School marmish. Or, yeah.
This
Just-
thing's in
just-
turbo yada.
yeah,
Not
like
exactly
someone
my
so
first language.
normal.
Yeah.
I
And
remember
like
ancient
it would have been neat
languages.
if they
Who
had
needs
given her
them?
just a little
Okay,
bit more
okay,
of that.
so
But I
I'm
mean,
a
I think
I think it was the restrictions
too
they
hard,
were working with.
too hard to animate. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the original designs tell you they weren't trying to make her look kind of staid and conservative looking.
Yeah, she was supposed to be really
basic.
like as
Then go to
interesting looking as
25
Bob.
backslash
Yeah,
yeah.
crazy shiny hair. Like,
31. Then B.
I mean, she is shiny-ish. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
Those
mat.
erase
Yeah, well, she was supposed to have this like cool spiky bob thing going on.
Yeah, Bob.
Bob. But yeah, and this was
Alright,
the best way they were able to render it.
Now use a power bypass to access me an alternate
Oh
route.
no, evil box.
Behind you.
Thanks, Bob.
Just returning the favor. Just
Good
like
moment,
the
good
User
shot.
leading up
Everything
through
about that was
cell
well
block H.
composed.
You
Yes,
go right,
indeed.
then up the starboard corridor. I'll slow him down.
Got it.
I love like all the tension and timing stuff in this episode
Move, Doc,
too.
we need that access key.
The use of like the
User
siren in the
no more kid
background
stuff.
and the
What
countdown
do you say
clocks
we
and the
take this
multi-stage
into a
like
higher?
key passes and yeah.
Yeah, and it all like does seem seamless. Splat.
Ooh, that's got us smart.
Oh no, his keys.
Again, just a great little detail.
Yeah,
like,
like,
he's just
'cause
been
it
knocking it, so
feels
he's gotta
like-
reach for it and yeah.
A real game.
Yeah. That was it too. Was this game like I really find I responded to games that looked like they would actually be fun to play.
Yes, absolutely. And this one does.
Yeah, it feels like it would be fun to play both as the convict and the guards.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
looks
it'd be
it'd
really
more
fun.
to
Like
play as guards.
imagine, yeah, like obviously he's released a bunch of these baddies.
Yeah.
But like, if you played it, like how many more baddies would there be, and what abilities would they have? Like, you can really imagine the possibilities of a game like this.
And like what the game is called, like Starship Alcatraz, I think.
Yeah.
Which is just a cool name for a game. Like,
Definitely.
yeah. Just kudos to the people who like came up with this whole concept for this game, because I think this, is. Again, I liked the dragons and everything quick in the Fed. That was maybe the first game that I was like, oh, that actually looks a fun game to play. But this one, you just get really excited about it.
Yeah, the Quick and Fed was more like almost the first round
We're
of
getting very far without
computer
this.
like games.
Yeah.
And then this one is delving into a lot. I almost think like the next level, like the sci-fi and like
Yeah.
Dot, we're running out of time.
We need a plan, a strategy.
Crash the plan. Just get down here now.
crash the plane.
Okay, you
Also,
and Glitch better
that
be ready.
in previous
Here I
episodes,
come.
the stakes of the game were always
do you
related to
mean, here you
mainframe in
come?
some way. Either a terror was going to crash something, or they had to stop a portal to the supercomputer.
Glitch.
Megabyte got into
Yes,
the
that's
game,
right.
or
Anything.
But this episode is just they got to beat the game.
Yeah.
But first, they have to figure out what's going on between them.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking for this?
Self-destruction program deactivated. Thank you, and have a nice day.
And the Bob dot roll reversal thing is just a really clean, effective way to accomplish that.
Well,
Yeah.
we did it. Nice work.
Not so bad yourself. I guess we'll be seeing you around the diner a little more.
Really? You know, those were really some great moves in there. Your response time was amazing. You might even say you were acting on the fly, living on the edge.
Well, I couldn't have done it if you weren't always one step ahead of the user. It was like you had a plan all along.
We might as well forget about Bob and Dot. We're talking split screen city with those two. Interface faulty, incompatible, unlinked,
Although them walking
unmatched.
off in the background, it
Why
looks like
they
a lot of him
couldn't
talking
time
at
share
her
you?
and
I
her
don't
being
think
like,
so,
that's
Bob.
nice.
Some pretty heavy keyboard action you were laying down.
Bob? Dot? Hey! Where do you two think you're going?
Well, to the diner. Want to join us?
No, Dot. It was you. You were
I'll
the
never
one that saved our
understand
business.
them.
Right.
Hey, think
Wah, wah.
again, mister. If it wasn't for you down in engineering...
But I mean, I guess like
Man,
coming back to their
I give up.
relationship, it's just
two
that's
are
what makes them work is that they do so well in the high pressure situations.
Yeah, like,
and,
they're
that's
a
kind of
good
what-
team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's, like that really is one of like the really it really draws you in.
Yeah,
I guess when
yeah.
you think of it.
And what's funny is, like, as much as I like the Bob and Dot relationship, it took a long time for Bob to really grow on me. Because Bob himself was always just kind of like, because in the early
So, like,
90s,
almost like you were Dot.
maybe you could say that. Because, like, I don't know, in the early 90s, I feel like every hero was a Bob. Like, it was all, everyone
He
was
is
like
Zach
the
Morris.
cool, smarmy.
Like seriously.
Yeah. And so, like, Bob just kind of felt like this generic character to me, like the same hero that I was seeing everywhere. But set against Dot, it was like his immaturity had a purpose. And you could kind of see the good and bad of him when it was contrasted with the good and bad of who she was.
That's a really neat point.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
just think of it like it's like you don't often get the bad side of Zach Morris. He's always just the hero,
Yeah.
and everyone else around him are just a bunch of wet blankets, to use the term again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's neat to think like there's drawback, but yeah, like you said, like it does seem like it actually gives it purpose.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's funny, as I get older, I appreciate immature people more.
Interesting.
I don't know. When I was a kid, I was always that person who everyone said was mature for her age, and so I appreciate immaturity as kind of just a trait that some people has that can sort of bring something
It is
out
so
in
funny.
other people.
Like
yeah.
for me, as I get older, I appreciate mature people more.
Yeah,
and
I guess but you have children, so when your children are mature,
I know
it makes
maturity is
a
a
lot
nice,
easier.
lovely thing. It's so true. Yeah, it's funny. I guess which is so awesome that we're coming back and watching this show again.
And finding new things to like about it. Again,
So
I like Bob
just
way
keep
more now
watching
than I
this
did.
show and no other versions of this show that should ever happen to
Have
appear.
existed. Yeah, just we're just gonna pretend this is it.
This is ReBoot.
I sometimes question including parts of season 4 in the canon, to be honest.
I know.
Yeah, but so anything beyond season 4 is, if season 4 is questionable, then anything past that is
Non-existent.
no-go. Yeah,
Alternate reality.
we're gonna Highlander this completely.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was the TIFF. Any final thoughts?
That's a good episode. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, always a good episode, and it's good to prepare ourselves with a good episode because. Spoiler, next we're watching In the Belly of the Beast.
Yep.
Which I have feelings about as an episode.
That one's got a poop joke in it too.
Yep.
Well,
So we know Frisket toots.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go. If nothing else, everyone, we figured it out.
So we just brought it for like full circle to the intro. So I guess that means we have to finish now.
We're getting better at this.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm Robin.
I'm Katie.
This is the ReBoot Review, and until next time, stay frosty.
We're Alphanumeric.